What is up, YouTube? We're at the shop today. Little echoey, compressors are all off. We're going on 11:30, close to midnight. These are the perks of a small business, owning a small business, if you will. Everybody thinks it seems like the greatest idea in the world. However, sometimes you run into deadlines, sometimes you run into other stuff, and you get to stay all night waiting on a powder coating oven to get to full temp, or the parts rather to get to full temp on giant stuff that customers are waiting on. It sucks. Not the greatest thing in the world, but that's the sacrifice you make for being able to do your own thing and figure things out as you go. If this was my full-time gig, this would not be as big of a deal. However, it's not a full-time gig, and I still have to get up at 5 in the morning tomorrow for my other job. Nights like this make me really question what I'm doing. But I don't mind the work, I don't mind keeping busy. It's just kind of miserable when you're sitting here all night waiting to get other stuff done. If I was working on a project at the house, I've spent many of nights being out past midnight on a work night, if you will. No problems there. I don't mind doing it if I'm working on my own stuff, but when you gotta do it for other people, it sucks. Especially when you don't charge more. Not that this was a rush job, that was just other jobs came in. This one got kind of backburnered. But that's kind of where we're at. The other thing I want to talk about is, really quickly, I had one of my first encounters in the 14, 15 years I've had this shop. We had somebody come by the other day that was trying to start up their own powder coating shop. They stopped by, asked me to look at a job that they weren't comfortable doing, and then it snowballed into this gigantic hour-and-a-half conversation. Well, more of them talking than me, but asking a million questions about what we use, what products we use, what we charge, all these other things. I didn't have anybody to help me out with that, so I'm not trying to sound, I don't know, pretentious or anything, but I've had to figure all of this stuff out on my own. I've made a million mistakes, and that's the only way to learn and stay afloat, is to figure out what works, figure out what doesn't work, go from there. That's kind of where I'm at. That's been my mentality my entire life. I'll mess things up a million times before I get it right. If you want to do it and you have the drive, you're going to figure it out eventually, hopefully. I'm still learning. I have 13 years of having a business, and I still have no idea what I'm doing 90% of the time. Well, at least I feel that way. I probably have more of an idea than some other people, but that's the reality of it. If you're diving headfirst into something, expect problems to come up. Don't expect everything to go swimmingly the first try, because that's never going to happen. It's how you deal with it. Or you can either blow it off. I could have not stayed all night to get this job done, and I would have had a not as happy customer tomorrow. That also would have been fine, but that's a different business model and a different component. I don't always stay this late. I don't want to stay this late. There's a million other things I would rather be doing, like going to sleep right now. But it's the risk you take. It's the cost of doing business, right? You want to be a business owner, you take accountability for it. So if I rolled this over to tomorrow, now it's on the guys that are up here during the day to get that done and finished. And now I'm another day behind on the next job. So sometimes you got to bite the bullet, suck it up, figure it out. But back to the guy that came in, everything I've learned has been trial and error, a ton of personal time researching what other people are doing, other aspects of the business. That's kind of how it goes. There's not really a right or a wrong in that sense. There's advice that I wish I could have gotten, but I also never would have thought to go to another shop and ask about that. So I don't know if that's a generational thing. I'm not that old, I'm 34. But that thought never would have crossed my mind. I'll mess things up a bunch of times and then try something new, or I will see something or research something, or I'll find something to give me a better idea or a better understanding of what it is that I'm doing or what might work better. And, you know, especially in this day and age, YouTube, awesome resource. I love this for that. The amount of things that I have learned from not doing the YouTube videos, but watching other people make videos is ridiculous. There's so much information out there. YouTube, Facebook, all the groups, all the forums, everything else. Like, that's what I had to do before powder coating was a major thing. Not that I've been doing it longer than anybody else. I'm not trying to say that by any means. I still feel like I'm relatively new in this game. However, it's been a constant figure things out. We built these ovens. We figured out compressors and blast situations and dust collectors and all of these other hardships that any shop will go through if you are getting into something new. It's just expected. So I don't usually like doing shop rant videos or anything like that, but I figured I'm sitting around waiting on the oven for another 20 minutes and trying to go home. Might as well talk about some of the hardships of, one, owning a small business and never having things work out the way they're supposed to. Not never, but things don't always work out. You got to deal with it. That's exactly what it is. And then just the upcomings of whether it's choppers, whether it's cars, whether it's motors, whether it's mechanics, whether it's anything you want to do. You're not going to be good at it, and you're not going to be perfect at it right off the bat. Expect problems to come up. Figure out a way to fix them. It's as simple as that. Seek out the advice. Talk to people. However, when you're trying to start a business and spend all of this time talking to another business, you're, one, taking away from that person that's in the middle of working on other stuff, which I never want to do. The amount of old timers, especially with the motorcycle stuff, I've learned a ton from other indie shops and other things like that. I also pay up on things when I go in there. I will pay more for parts from an indie shop and be able to have that conversation and have the dialogue and pick up and soak up all the information that I get from them. That's worth the cost of what I would save if I went to a Amazon or online store to try and do the same thing. Overall, try it, fail, try harder next time, figure it out along the way. That's kind of what I'm getting at. I don't like doing the long rants, like I said, so I'm going to wrap this one up before I say something stupid and regret it when I go to edit this. But that's where we're at. Thanks for watching. I got more chopper stuff coming for you soon. XLCH is right about there. We're taking off for the weekend, so I'm scrambling late nights at the shop this week to get everything set up to cover me being gone for a weekend. I mean, one weekend, it doesn't seem like that much, but when there's constant things in motion and constant things that need to get done, I need to plan for that. So that means working overtime and getting everything prepped before I leave. Try and make it as easy for my employees to function while we are gone and go from there. Still be doing phones and things like that, obviously, but it is what it is. You wanna work hard, then you get to play hard, right? Or if you want to approach it the other way, you want to play hard, you better work hard. That's how I was raised. That's how I've done everything that I always do. So thanks for watching. More content coming your way. Hopefully next week I can get around to firing up the XLCH and then digging into that 351 motor, take a look and figure out what we're doing. See if we're going to be able to do the stroker build, budget stroker build that I want to do. So other than that, we'll catch you guys on the next one.